Hello, my name is Galang, and in this video, I'm going to talk about emotion and cognition. Humans have attentional bias for negative emotional stimuli, which means that negative stimuli, you can think of picture or like words, is going to grab your attention faster than positive emotional stimuli. And if you are wondering why, this is because when humans are still in the prehistoric era, when the era is still ancient, humans had to survive from the predators. So predators are negative stimuli. So basically humans develop this ability to survive. And in terms of memory, ever wondering why we cannot get a certain emotional memory out of our head? Because memory and emotions are linked together. And there are two types of memory that link to emotions. The first is explicit memory, which means like names, it includes names and events, so like the memory of certain things. And the second one is implicit memory. So implicit memory's example is like how to ride a bicycle. So those kind of memory that you know, but it is really hard for you to say that or to articulate that. There are three stages of memory. The first one is encoding. So during encoding, brain area that is responsible for memory and emotion work together. So hippocampus is the area of the brain that is responsible for memory, and amygdala is the brain area that is responsible for emotion. They work together to process emotional stimuli, so that the emotional stimuli is going to be stored in the brain. The second stage is retentions. Basically, it is based on the repetitions. So if you rethink of your emotional memory, you are going to get a strong memory of that. Even if you say, I don't want to remember about my bad memory in the past, but even if you try to not remember, it means that you actually remember it. You actually exercise or rehearse that memory. So it means the memory of that emotional event is still stored in your brain. The last stage is to recall. So during the recalling the memory, there is a term that is called emotional congruency. So it means during the situation that has a similar emotional atmosphere, you are going to recall the memory that is similar when you store it at the first place. So in brief, emotion and memory are linked together because emotion grabs the attention. That is really important for you building a memory. And then for the second reason is because the area that is responsible for emotion, which is amygdala, and the area that is responsible for memory, which is hippocampus, are located nearby. Another topic is creativity. So how emotion can influence creativity is always a topic of interest for scholars since like years ago. And we found evidence that there is combinations of dimension of emotions that leads to creativity. So people used to believe that only positive emotion that trigger creativity, but in fact we found that the greatest artists when they produced their masterpiece, that is when they were not even in their the best mood. But we found the evidence that the combination between violence and arousal triggers creativity. For example, during positive emotions and high arousal, for example, like joy or excitement, it's going to make people more creative. And also, during the negative emotion but low arousal, for example, like sadness, disappointment, and etc., people can still be creative. So now we know that emotion is sometimes beneficial because it makes you creative. But at the same time, sometimes emotion is destructive because it's going to disrupt your attention. So I guess the bottom line here is like the ability to control the emotion. How do you cognitively control emotion is a challenge. So there are several things you can do. First one is you shift the attention from something emotional that grab your attention. But the second tips is if you cannot move away your sight from that object, you can think of the non-emotional property of that object to get away of the emotional influence that disrupt your attention. I think that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.